All right, welcome back to another episode of Life on the Ave. We are here with my, I would say not new friend. You've been my neighbor, so you're not my new friend, but my friend, Kati. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I was very honored when I received the ask.
You're one we've been saving. So we have like this list of guests we want to have. You've been on there for a while, but we try to not do everybody all at once, like the good people all at once. Not that there's any bad people, sorry. But some guests definitely bring in more views, and I think you're going to be one that brings in a lot of views. So we've been saving you.
Thank you.
So we're super excited to have you. I'm going to quick jump into your bio.
Okay.
So sit back, relax, enjoy, me giving you your flowers, and then we'll jump into it. All right. So Kati Singley is, am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Kati Singley is the owner of CupKate's LLC, which is a passion and hobby turned social media phenomenon known for bright and bubbly desserts. Kati's story began quite young, watching her mom make birthday cakes for all of her extended family in their tiny kitchen. She grew up in a creative household, and she gives much credit to her mom and grandmother, who were always crafting. From a very young age, Kati was making her own jewelry and dollhouse furniture to sell at local craft shows. With the help of her mom teaching her how to sew, she made purses out of Capri Sun pouches and won the Top Entrepreneur World Award of the Market Day sale in 4th grade. I love that story. We got to come back to that. Entrepreneurship ran in the family, and Kati knew from a young age that she had to dive into one day becoming an entrepreneur. Kati graduated from Archmere Academy and then St. Joseph's University with a bachelor's degree in marketing and entrepreneurship. After graduating, Kati went into the corporate world for 3.5 years until ultimately deciding to take a leap and make CupKate's a reality. She completely went out on her own in 2022. She is self-funded and the sole owner of her business. She lost her father to cancer in 2019, and that had a large impact on her chasing her dreams. She believes that life is too short to not do something you love. CupKate's is located in Greenville, Delaware, and their motto is "Make Life Sweet." Their mission is to create custom sweets that make customers feel special while making special events even more memorable. So welcome, Kati.
Thank you.
So excited to have you. Your bio is full of so many amazing things. I don't even know where I want to start. Let's start with you. Quick summary. How do you feel you got here? Quick elevator pitch background on you.
Okay. So a little bit about how I got here. I was always creative. So I think I somehow took my creativity into cakes. So that's, I believe, how we got to here. I was always, interested in doing something that wasn't the norm, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, totally.
So I was always, doing something creative. I got into cakes, I guess, in the beginning of high school.
Cool.
More as I would paint, I would draw, stuff like that. So it was a different medium for me. And in addition to, baking things like that, I've always done that growing up. But I would say that cakes were the number one thing that I got into. I always felt like I pushed that in a box in the corner when it was what do you want to do when you grow up? What are you going to do after college? What are you going to study? What are you going to do? It's oh, well, I want to do this. But when you tell everyone, they're oh, okay. That's good luck. She makes brownies, that type of thing. So I was just okay, I guess I need to just do a quote unquote normal job. So that's what I did. But I kept doing what I loved on the side.
Right.
So I built up my business while I was also I worked in tech recruiting,
corporate.
Yes, I worked in corporate jobs until, I decided to take the leap to do what I wanted to do. I don't know if that was long-winded.
Yeah. No, it makes total sense.
Basically, I was just always creative, and I kind of suppressed it for a while. Yeah. And then I decided, I was you know what? This is what I want to do. And I did it enough at that point, on the weekends. That's what I was doing outside of work. I'd work 9 to 5. I'd come home and bake till midnight. So I was
wow.
It got to a point where I was okay, this is a viable business. It wasn't just it was just something I did once a month.
Right,
it
a side
was
hustle.
Yeah, exactly. So I got it to a point where it was something I was oh, I could actually seriously take this somewhere.
Yeah, totally.
So,
I love that. So when would you say this all began? Did you, you talked about you had entrepreneurship in your blood, you kind of felt okay, I want to do this. I want to go ahead and make the jump. Was it COVID? Yeah. Was it your dad passing away? When did this kind of all really the wheels start turning? Yeah.
So I would say it was right around that time.
Yeah.
So he passed away in 2019, right before COVID happened. So I think that COVID happening, I was in a corporate job, stuff like that. I had more time to see okay, what is it that I want to do? Because everyone had so much extra time.
Right.
So I would say I seriously decided that I was going to do this in, I would say it was 2020. So I was talking with Deb Todd, shout out to her. She had just opened Aloe at the time.
Wow.
And she had said, she's like, you need to do this. Like, she's like, I am going to find you a real estate agent, Alex Wittig, and Dan Wham at DSM.
Love Dan Wham, but love Alex Wittig.
That's how our friendship began.
Love that.
So she was like, you're going to get in touch with these people and we're going to do this. And I was like, you know what? Yes, I am.
I love
so
that.
we did that. And I started talking to them like end of 2020, early 2021. And then fast forward to like fall of 21, I quit my job.
Wow.
And I was like, okay. And we didn't open for another year after that. So opening a store, especially during the time that it was, when COVID was still going and just ending, like took a very long time from start to finish. But yeah, so that's kind of like where it all like happened and how it happened. It was like
so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So you started out making cakes, and would you still say that's like your main thing you're doing at CupKate's?
I would say so. We are definitely known for our custom cakes. So anything from birthday cakes to wedding cakes to showers, all that stuff. We do have our grab and go case. So that's something that I didn't have a lot of experience with. Obviously, I was just making cakes before, so I didn't have the opportunity to sell like 7 different flavor cupcakes or like that just wasn't feasible doing what I was doing before. So I didn't realize how popular that the case was going to be until we opened. So then that happened, and now we offer all different types of cookies, French macarons, like different cupcake flavors, and it kind of resulted in, you know, well, maybe cupcakes are our top selling item. Cookies are our top selling item. So yeah, just kind of.
So what is your top selling item?
Cupcakes by quantity, cupcakes.
Got it.
We do sell like the majority of our larger orders are cakes. But I would say cupcakes and then cookies are right next to them.
Wow. Now, do you have like custom recipes? Like, how do you like there's only so many different ways you can make a cake, right?
There is,
Tell me about like your recipe, how you do, what's a little different or anything like that.
Yeah. So I guess I could say my recipe has evolved over the years.
Yeah.
So I started with basic recipe from like a random cookbook I had before. And then I realized I was like, oh, I want to change this up a little bit. So I guess maybe 5 years ago, I've had the same recipes for about like 5 years. We did change our red velvet like once or twice, but it's always, you know, evolving to see like how, you know, feedback and stuff like that, and always changing things. So I would say, yeah, we've had the same recipes have evolved over time. But yeah.
Wow. So who is your ideal client? Not ideal, but who are you mostly selling these to? Are they brides? Are they, you know, showers? Like who is like what's the demographic of the bulk of your orders?
Yeah. I feel like we see like a wide variety of people. Everything from like moms and children to like older people. Like I feel like we kind of encompass any age because everybody loves sweets.
Every event needs a cake.
Yes,
literally.
Basically. Yeah, it's a wide variety of the types of demographic that we have. We do have a lot of moms and kids, a lot of kids' birthday parties. Yeah. That's a super popular one for us.
It's really trendy right now to have these like aesthetic, beautiful, the balloon arches and the every single little detail. And I think the cake is like probably the biggest of all of those items.
Yes. The cake, the matching cookies, the matching cake pops, all that fun stuff. So that's where we love to do that.
Did you watch all the like TLC baking shows growing up?
So I watched The Cake Boss. I would say that's probably what got me into like cakes and like the interest in like fondant was like, oh, that's like clay. Like, oh, that's like something that I got interested in. That's probably how I got interested in decorating cakes. So yeah, watched all of that, but I haven't watched like the recent shows.
Yeah, no.
I don't know.
Now you're doing your own thing.
Yeah, I don't have time.
It's like before I jumped into real estate or into residential real estate, I watched Selling Sunset and all the shows. But now that I'm in it, it feels like so fake to me that like I can't watch it. I'm like, when I watch TV, I want to escape my life. Yeah. I don't want to live my life on TV. Yeah. So I could totally.
It's interesting. The shows are interesting. I almost got casted for a show. Almost.
No way.
Yeah. And they wanted me to go to Ireland or something for like 6 weeks in the middle of like, I think it was like last January to February with like barely any pay or anything. What? So I was like, okay, so close my store for like 6 weeks.
And don't pay me?
Yeah. It was interesting. So
Didn't work. Didn't pan out.
Didn't work for me.
And you have employees. It's not just you.
Yeah, no, I do.
So tell me about that.
one full-time employee. That's Noah. He's amazing.
I see him in your content.
Yes, we love Noah. And we also have Ebony. So she's part-time. She works with us part-time. I have Vanessa. She's part-time. This is all in the kitchen. And then we have a few new people as well. So we're getting there. It's, obviously we're experiencing, I would say it's a good thing, but it's growing pains.
Yeah.
So it's figuring out how do we expand without going over our means, if that makes any sense.
Or compromising your quality or any of the things that you want to do. That makes sense. I get that. We get that too, because we're such like a tight-knit team and we want to grow, but we also, we love our little family. And so like it's nerve. It is.
I get nervous. And you're like, Yeah.
So talk to me about content and social media. Right out of your bio, you talk about social media. Talk to me about your journey through social media.
Okay, so my journey through social media, I guess you could say that's how my business started. That's how my business is what it is because of social media. I had started making cakes, like when I started making cakes in high school, somebody said, oh, you should make like an Instagram account for that. So then that's how it all started was through Instagram. So
and was it CupKate's from the jump?
It was,
nice.
Yes.
Cute.
Since like the beginning. So I just never changed it.
I love that.
Was like, it's
Why would you?
It's kind of like a mouthful. People are like, oh, cupcakes. I'm like, no, cupcake. And then I have to like spell it. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I've thought about changing it, but if we're too far gone for that.
No, I love it.
But so yes, social media. And I would say from then it became a business because of, word of mouth, but also like social media and pictures on social media. Everyone can see. I think it's, how like marketing for your business has changed from the way it was 10 years ago is way different than it is today. And my philosophy is kind of like, well, if we're in the front of your mind, then you're more likely to come in.
Right.
I have somebody in my store almost every other day. I saw this on Instagram and that's why I'm here.
Right.
It's like, it may seem, like I'm
silly.
posting 20 stories
silly.
or I'm embarrassing myself in these reels, but it works.
You're talking to the queen. I'm literally embarrassing myself every day.
Feel the same way.
Yes.
It works though.
It works.
People love to see it.
Yes.
Even though sometimes I think they don't.
I think deep down they don't, but I think they do. And anyone that doesn't like it or has some type of negative feeling towards it, I think is ultimately just wishes they had the balls to do it.
I would fully agree with that.
And it's like they wish they could, they had a product that they were excited to sell
exactly.
or something they were excited to do every day, and they don't, they want to quit their job like you did, and they just don't know how.
Yes, the people who are jealous of what you're doing or won't do what you're doing that hate you the most.
Exactly. But to your point, like you said, top of mind, that's the same exact thought process we have as well. Like, I'm not going to sell a house off of making a podcast probably, but if I'm constantly on your feed, then every time you go out and you're talking to somebody, oh, my cousin wants to buy a house. And then you're, oh, my friend Mary Kate, I just saw her podcast. Right. So it's like it steamrolls into more. So we look at social media the same way.
Yes. I fully agree with that.
Do you do any other forms of marketing, sponsorships, anything like that?
I don't. So I've prided myself in not paying for marketing.
I love that. Content is free. Yeah,
it's free. It also depends on your audience.
Yeah.
So where your audience is consuming their content is where you should be putting it.
Right.
Some of my audience might be reading magazines, they might be reading newspapers or stuff like that, but I think they're on social media. Right. They're like looking up the idea for their cake that they want on Instagram or Pinterest. Totally. So they're going to be finding you on social media. So it really depends on, where to find where your clients are, what they're doing, what they're looking at. But I would say for me, it's mainly Instagram. I will admit I'm not that good with Facebook. I don't know what it is.
I don't know why. It feels like old, the way of the past. I don't know. It's hard. We don't really do Facebook either. And I'm like, imagine if we did.
I know.
But I just can't get to it.
I can't either. It's too many things, but maybe one day.
Yeah, maybe someday. And we talk a lot about YouTube. Like, this will be on YouTube. Okay. I wish we had more time to invest in YouTube, but you can only do so much.
Right. You can
and
only
you're on
do
TikTok?
So much. Yes, barely. Yeah. I will admit my millennial shows when I go on TikTok. Yeah. I don't know how to work it.
I love that.
And that's what they all say about Instagram when TikTok shut down for a day. They're like, I don't know how to use Reels. I'm like, Reels are my thing.
I know.
TikTok, not my thing.
It's tough. Oh, I do love TikTok deep down. I think TikTok's my favorite. It's like it's like a free for all.
Consuming it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're all strangers. Even though I have followers that are friends, it feels like they're all strangers. Whereas Instagram feels to me like it's my middle school crush. It's my,
I know.
my third grade
Yeah.
basketball coach. I'm like, this is weird.
That's true.
Yeah. Which also is, I mean, it's all meta ultimately, but I feel the same way
Right.
on Facebook too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you've done some good TikToks though.
Thank you. I
yes.
try.
Like I like when you do the trends what was the one? It was we listen and we don't judge.
Oh my gosh.
That's my favorite one you've done so far.
Everyone was saying how much I was laughing in that. I was like, I'm sorry.
It was so funny. And you could just tell you guys are like a little family in there.
Yes,
like you're
yes.
sharing a small space with
Every
you
day.
know, yeah, you're
It's
tight.
like you have to work face to face with your boss every
Yes.
single day.
Yeah.
So I try my best to make it a good atmosphere in that
Yeah.
sense. We try to have fun.
I love that. Tell me about owning an actual bakery, right? Like there's a
Yeah.
saying that's like Vincent's grandmother says it all the time, like gotta wake up early to make the donuts or something like that. I'm probably ruining that quote.
Yeah.
What is like your hours? Like what is your life? What does a day look like for you?
Yeah. So I would say with the bakery that it's my life.
Yes.
Like there's no sugarcoating it.
Yes.
I am there.
No pun intended.
All the time. Yeah. Right. A lot of people have a misconception like, oh, she just prances around. She does what she wants.
Right.
Whatever.
No.
I'm involved every single day. One day, maybe that will change. I hope it changes.
Yeah.
But everything from the most simplest task to the most complex task, I'm involved in it. So my days look different every day. It really depends on our schedule. I am lucky to have my bakers sometimes be able to start my mornings like for me. So then I can join them around 7:30 or 8. Or other days, you know, I have to be in at 6 or before that or whatever it is. But it's usually like late hours as well. So like yesterday was like Monday. I'm like in there at 7, stay till 5, straight to Costco. Then we had to go to the storage unit. Then I had to go home and do the admin stuff, like emails and stuff like that. So I'm not finishing my day till 9, 10 o'clock in my bed.
Wow.
So I never like to complain about anything like that. And I keep it all behind the scenes. But that's like the part of owning a business that people don't see.
Yeah.
It's when it's Sunday, I'm on the couch and watching football on my computer, doing all my emails, doing this, doing that. We're here, we're there.
Right.
It's a 7-day almost.
Operation.
It never ends.
Yeah.
I'm pretty bad at drawing boundaries. So
Yeah, same.
I need to work on that.
Yeah.
I always
get
say
that.
I do. But yeah, it's a lot. So it's something I think a lot of people don't realize about owning a business is that you're not just going to open a small business and get rich quick.
No,
you have to, it's your life and you have to like it.
Yes.
Like what you're doing has to fulfill you.
Right.
So if I didn't get fulfilled by the cake order that I completed and how this looked or that looked and the happy feedback that I got, then this would be miserable.
Right. And you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're the same way. I think a lot of people look at the content, look at the podcast, look at the fun things that we're doing. And don't get me wrong, we are having a lot of fun.
Yes, yes,
we are.
agree.
But they don't see the Friday night showings, the
see it.
Saturday
No.
morning showings. And you know, I've got 2 kids now. I'm doing a lot less of that.
Yeah.
But like the team is grinding it out on the
Yes.
weekends, especially. Like there's no off. There's no. You know, see you guys on. We don't shut the door on Friday and say see you on Monday.
No,
there's
definitely
none of
not.
that.
Right.
Yeah. So. You definitely have to love what you're doing when
You
you're
have to
in
love
this
it. It has to
entrepreneur.
fulfill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has that been? You're in a very loving relationship. You're engaged.
Yes.
We love
Yes.
Evan. How has that been with him? You know,
Yeah.
you're in this grind stage of your business. How has
Yeah.
that been, being with a partner and significant
Right.
other that, wants your time as well?
Exactly. No, it's been amazing. I always before I'd met him, I was like, I'm going to open this bakery and how am I ever going to find anybody that
Right.
wants to
They're
put up
never-
with this or
yeah.
how am I ever going to be able to do that? And he does it with a smile on his face.
Aw.
He will bring me coffee in the morning, get out of bed. Let's go here.
Aw.
Let's do that. Last night I'm talking about going to Costco. Who's the one driving me there? Who's
Right.
the one, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's just been incredible with all of that. And I honestly, it sounds so sappy, but I couldn't be more happy with how he is so willing to help me through everything. And
It's amazing.
yeah, even today, a slight mental breakdown. Who's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
So it's just it's really, really important to have somebody that supports you like that, because if he didn't, it would be so much harder.
Yeah, it would be
he's
impossible.
I want to do this on our Sunday. I want to go to Costco with you. I want to help you with this. Tonight, we have the Super Bowl this weekend and there's so many things to do. And he's like, however long it takes you, I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
We're
That's
going to get it
amazing.
done.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, because you do need that support. You do need that sanity check. You do need somebody that's going to like be there, grind it out with
Who's
you.
so involved in what you're doing rather than being like, oh, you need to come home.
Yeah,
Oh, you need to do the dishes. You need to clean this. You need to do that. When are you going to do this with me or that?
Right.
He thinks of it as like, oh, well, we're doing this together and we both like to do it.
Yeah. And if you're successful, then you're happy, then he's happy. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
The Cutlers talk a lot. We've had Max and Katie
Yes.
Cutler on, and they both individually said the same thing. Like they're both interns, unpaid interns for each other's businesses.
Yes.
So I feel like he's like your unpaid intern.
Yes, for sure.
And he's occasionally in your content.
Yes,
He's always like
it.
at Marshall's with you, trying not to get you to buy more things.
Oh my God, I know.
I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. I love that. So what do you think, like, where do you see this going? Like, do you see yourself opening up multiple bakeries? Or are we just going to, are you happy and content with one shop? Where do you see the future for CupKate's?
So that's a good question. I feel like I've been asked that a lot recently, and I can't put my finger on the answer of what it would be. I guess I see multiple locations. I do see that. I always want to write a book. So I want to write a cookbook.
Love that. You should.
I didn't know if I was going to like say that, but that's something.
She said it.
Yeah, I said it.
Now it's real.
So that's something that I really want to do. And other than multiple locations, my thing is though, until like everybody can get what they want from my current store and I'm not involved in the day-to-day of everything, then I should think about a next store.
Yeah, I love that.
That's because I feel like you can get excited by seeing the sales or excited by seeing this, oh, we're busy. And then I'm still so busy here and I try to open a second store. Something's going to give.
Yeah, totally.
You have to be 100% with the place that you currently have before you decide to put your time in it again. I feel like currently there's not enough hours in the day for me to be like, oh yes, second store.
Yeah, makes
so
sense.
until we get there, I would love that. That's
how many years
a
has it
future
been?
goal. It's been 2.
Wow. It's flown by.
So I know it's crazy.
So wait, I just had a question. It just slipped my mind. It was good. Okay. So you went to Archmere.
Yes.
You went to St. Joe's, so Philly. Now you live in 40 Acres, Charlie Square. Why your location? Why Greenville? What drew you to that space?
So when I had started making cakes like on the side, a lot of my customers were in this area.
Yeah.
Because I had worked at Pure Bar
Nice.
at the time. And so that's kind of at the time that my business sort of like blew up and people were interested in my orders. So it was like, oh, where's a good spot to like meet people or where would I be dropping off? And it was mainly around this area, or it was slightly more south or slightly more north. So this is kind of like a middle point.
I agree. I totally agree.
And I had liked, the little town of getting to experience time here of like all the little local businesses and how close I became with other business owners in this area, like Christine from the Pink Turtle, Deb from Aloe, like all the other little.
It's a community.
It's such a good community
it really is.
that I had other people, lifting me up to be a part of that community.
Right.
So that's why I felt drawn to opening a store here.
I love that. Yeah, it's same thing with Trolley, and I feel like Greenville's even an extension of that, even to downtown Wilmington. Like we really all are very like uplifting, supporting one another.
Yes.
Like everyone's friends. We just went to the new boutique that just opened, Somali.
Yes.
Like I'm just like, of course I'm gonna go to that. Like there, it's just like, why wouldn't I? And now I'm gonna shop there. Like
it's so important.
It's so important. Like we're all in this world together. We have to uplift each other. And yeah, I love it. I love this area. What's something in this industry, like a myth you would want to break or like bust? Like, anything from like a specific to a dessert or just anything about owning a business, like anything you would want people to know that maybe they would not realize?
I guess lately my myth that I've been busting is with like the grocery store and their cakes.
Okay, let's hear it.
I have been learning more and more about what they do and like what it is.
Let's hear it. I got one yesterday, so call me out.
If you get a cake from the grocery store, more than likely it's frozen. Like it was shipped to the store frozen, and the icing is like pre-made in tubs.
Wow.
Like nobody's baking it on site.
No.
The cupcakes come frozen. All of this, I've discovered a lot of this from TikTok. So that's something we don't do.
I love that.
And I think obviously that sets us apart, but I think sometimes people don't realize that. So I guess that's like a myth.
And they're full of like red dyes, right?
Yeah. All of the preservatives and dyes and like not even real butter in most things. So, I mean, that's something that we pride ourselves on, that we use real fresh ingredients they're expensive in this day and age. They're they just keep going up.
Yeah. Everything.
It's been
Milk,
a nightmare.
eggs, everything.
Yeah.
How do you combat that? Like, do you get pressure from people if you raise your prices? Like, how does that go?
It's really hard combating it. And also, like, wages are going up, the cost of living is going up.
Everything.
So it's like, I can't just sit here and eat the cost that, like, I mean, you go to the grocery store, you see what the eggs are. That's what I have to pay for the eggs. There's no magical wholesale store that like I'm getting everything for half price.
Yeah.
It's not the case. Like, I have to pay those costs too. So then it's eating into like all of our profit that we would make on that. So I don't really know how I'm combating it. We've been trying to figure out ways to do that. Yeah. But it's just...
We've been trying to, like, for us, we sometimes will be like, okay, we need to cut costs. Okay, we spend money on this event. We spend money on that. And it's like, sometimes we have to, like, pull ourselves out of this, like, mode of how do we save money and trick our brains into, like, no, how do I make more money? How do I sell more cakes? Not how do I make my eggs cheaper? It's like, how do I sell more cakes? Yeah. So it's like, how do I just do more? How do I sell more houses? Like, I don't want to spend less on marketing. I don't want to quality control for you have worse ingredients. Like, how do I just market myself a little more and sell 1 or 2 extra cakes this month? Houses for us.
Yes. It's like, I don't want to buy the cheaper ingredients. I don't want to buy the box mix that you can get a giant bag of mix. I worked at a bakery in high school.
I believe
they did that.
I believe it.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
We don't want to do that. That's not what we stand for. But it's going to cost more. So
how do you perfect that? Like, I see like your big machines and all that. Like, for me, I can't even make a box cake. Like, obviously you have a skill at this, but like, as you get bigger and bigger quantities, like,
it's really hard.
How hard is that?
We've had to throw out a lot of batter, really expensive batter.
Yes.
It's very hard. It's something that we still deal with.
Yeah.
It's human error. So if you're not, buying a box of cake mix, every time that your cake is going to be exactly the way that it is in that box. With us, it's like, if somebody puts the wrong amount of this, doesn't cream the butter fully with the sugar, it's going to be different. And that's a huge struggle of a whole different world of quality control.
Yeah.
So it's very meticulous.
Did your employees have experience at this, or are you training these people?
So everyone who currently works for me has gone to culinary school.
Oh, cool.
So yes, that is super helpful.
Wow.
I did not go to culinary school.
Right, that's interesting.
So they teach me a thing or two.
Good.
But everybody currently has culinary experience, and they've all actually gone to Del Tech's culinary program.
Cool.
So I have, a relationship with the chefs there, and they've been able to, recommend students for us to hire, and they've all done amazing with that. So they do, I think that school gives them a strong foundation in the basics of baking and the science behind all of it. Not to say, there's not errors and things that happen, because that's just life and that's just being human. But
that's awesome to have that experience. Okay, so you talked about you worked at Pure Bar.
Yes.
How do you stay fit and like not obese whale? Because I would be humongous in your industry. I'm sure you get this question a lot.
I know, everyone does ask me that. More so when you're working with it every day, you become like nose blind. Like I'll walk out to go get lunch or something, and then I'll come back in and I'll be like, oh, it smells really good in here. You kind of just get like blind to it. And I think I'm just so focused on like getting everything done every day. Like, you need to do this, decorate that. I don't even have a chance to think about whether the buttercream icing is edible or not, if that makes any sense. But I do still like taste a lot of stuff like that. I would say with opening a business and working so much, my physical fitness and taking care of myself has definitely taken a huge hit over the past couple years. And it's something that I keep saying, like, I need to do more of, because working out for me, I got into working out like, I would say high school, college, but it's helped me through some of the hardest times in my life. So it's like, I would do spin classes. I was a big fan of Soul Cycle and stuff like that. I'd do like the bar classes and all that stuff, and it helped me through like handling the mental stress of things. So it's definitely something that I'm really missing these days, and I think I need to figure out a way to get back to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you're on your feet all day long.
I'm on my feet all day. So then I come home and I'm exhausted. But it's different than working out.
I know. And also like working out for me, at least, because I'm very similar. I did CrossFit 7 days a week. Then I had 2 babies, and now I'm like Peloton 3 days a week-ish if I get to that. Because it's the first thing, as soon as I get busy, working out's the first thing I cut,
Yeah,
which is
me too.
terrible,
Me
which
too.
is like
It's
the
terrible.
opposite of what it should be. But it's the first thing you cut, and it's the first sacrifice you make is yourself.
Right.
And it's so tough. It's so tough. And I don't have advice for you.
Yeah.
I wish I had the answers. I can't
saw
figure it out.
Your guys' like stickers on
Yeah.
I was like, I think we need to do that, Ev. I was like, if anything will get
amazing.
me. I'm a big like write it down like
Yes.
on paper person. So I'm like, I need to bring back the planner. We
Yes.
need to bring back the stickers and physically crossing off everything that we do every day.
Yeah.
But hopefully once the weather gets warmer,
I
like
know.
more walks
Get outside on
and
walks.
getting fresh air
Yeah.
will help a lot.
We're all ultimately like children. I think like I'm raising 2 toddlers now, and
Yeah.
like everything they're going through, like we're all going through in our own version. And like the sticker charts work for potty training and sleep
Yes.
training and all these things. So why wouldn't they work for a
Right.
32-year-old that needs to
That's
work
how we
out?
learned.
Yeah. So for me, the sticker chart works, and it works for some people. It just like for me, it's like the reward of putting something on.
Yeah. And then you
I don't know.
start to get obsessed with it and you're
Yes.
like, okay, I need to do this.
And then when I see like, oh, I'm 6 days in a row, I'm
Right.
like, oh, I need
Yeah.
to cut that cycle.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works for me. It works for me. What's your favorite thing to make in the store?
My favorite thing is decorating cakes.
Cool.
It's
like your OG.
That's my thing. Yeah. When it all comes together, and even like cookies and, you know, the themes and
Yes.
that's what fulfills everything
you're
for
creative.
me. And like the packaging and designing
Yeah.
new products and,
Yeah.
you know, when I see it like put together, our holiday menus, like that's what does it for me.
Yeah. What's your favorite cake you've ever made?
Oh, that's hard. Honestly,
Or just one that stands out?
The first one that comes to mind is a wedding cake I did this summer. And that was like a peach colored vintage cake with cherries. It was 3 tiers. We drove that down to Dover.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Nice.
That's the one that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you're getting married. When's your
Yes.
wedding coming up?
November 1st.
November. Are you going to make your own wedding cake?
Yes.
Nice.
Everyone keeps telling me not to.
Yeah, no.
But I'm like,
This
this
is
is
what you
my
do.
Super Bowl. This is my thing.
Yeah.
I can finally
That's
do
like,
what I want to do.
I'm going to buy my own house. Like, I'm not going to.
Of course.
Right.
I can have somebody else do it.
Yeah, no. Like, I know what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trust anyone with that besides myself either.
I might do a trial this summer when I have
Nice,
time.
nice.
Just so I know exactly what design I'm doing, and then I can
Yeah.
just make it.
Does Evan
the
care?
week of. Oh no. I was like, I'm not going to give too much away of what it's going to look like,
No,
but
no,
I
no.
already told him, and he was like, "Oh, I don't care."
Yeah, no, this is your thing.
No, he doesn't really
Yeah, you
care,
got to
yeah.
trust. Yeah, you do what you're good at. I'll do what I'm good at.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. What would you say is something you have coming up that we can promote? Valentine's is going to come out the week of
Yes.
Valentine's. Do you have any specials this week that people should know about? What are we
Yes.
making? What's in the case this week?
So Valentine's Day is a fun one for us. We'll have lots of chocolate covered strawberries.
Vincent?
And yes, those
Write
are
that
really
down.
good. Our little vintage heart cakes are very
Cute.
popular. All the fun cookies.
Are the vintage heart cakes like those, like the ones with like sayings on them? That's a vintage heart cake.
So those are like the really pretty piping.
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
little, like
Cool.
the cherries,
OGs,
the
yes.
bows,
Cool.
all that stuff.
Cute.
So those are very popular. We'll have a ton of those for grab and go. The macarons are fun. Cupcakes, cookies. We have like heart-shaped boxes with mini cupcakes in them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's like your box of chocolates, but it's cupcakes.
Cute. So this comes out on Monday. So Valentine's is in 5 days, because Valentine's is on Friday. So
Yes.
if I'm someone, I'm listening to this episode right now, and I want to get something great for my significant other, what's the best way to do it? Do we walk in on Friday? Should we call and put in an order in advance? Like what would you recommend? Hey, ding, ding, ding. Valentine's is this week. If anyone forgot, I'm looking at you, boyfriends and girlfriends and husbands and wives. What would you recommend if they wanted to purchase something from you?
Yes. So we have a pre-order menu that's out now. I'm not sure how long it will be out, like the week before. It should be still out by the time this episode comes out.
Cool.
But probably 3 days before we would close that menu.
Yes,
But
so tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. So we will still have things in the case. Our case
Cool.
will be stocked. So you can walk right in,
Nice.
pick out what you want. It might be limited on, possibly certain things.
Yeah.
But if you get there early, or even
Yeah.
let us know if there's something you're looking for, we are happy to help you.
So go in Friday morning and
Go in
get it
Friday
before
morning.
get it before it's gone.
Yes.
And you do coffee still?
So we do iced coffee.
Iced coffee,
Yes.
yes.
We don't have room.
I've had
for-
your iced coffee.
Yeah.
So that's what I was referencing.
Yeah.
Because you had a sign that was like super cute when you first had it. I forget what it said. It was so cute.
Aw.
But I've had your iced coffee, super good. So you can come in on Friday morning, get your things for your significant other, and get an iced coffee.
Yes.
And then you can hit Purebred and get a sandwich and all the other amazing
All that
things in
fun
that area.
stuff.
How often do you eat at Purebred?
Oh, too much.
Yeah. It's like us, like Gianni's and
Yeah.
El Diablo.
Yeah.
So let's bring it back to Trolley. So you live in this area. What are your favorites in this area? What's your go-to coffee shop?
Go-to coffee shop.
Or do you just drink your own?
I just kind of get my own.
Yeah, you're kind of like a mini coffee shop. Okay, that's fair. What's your favorite takeout? Like on a Friday night, you guys are exhausted, you're beat. Where are we getting takeout?
Probably Southeast.
Fair.
Or Kitchlane's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 out of 10. And then you guys go out to dinner, I feel, a decent amount.
Yeah.
Where is your favorite place to eat dinner? Like out?
My like all-time favorite is Bardea.
Yeah, I knew
Obsessed.
the answer.
You know,
because whenever you're walking by, I'm like, "Where are you guys going?" It's always Bardea.
Whenever we're dressed up.
We're the same. We're the same.
That's our favorite spot. Crowbar. Oh, that's what I forgot.
Yes,
Crowbar
you guys
is
are big
also our
Crowbar.
spot. Big Crowbar.
And you guys like their
people.
what, cocktails? Or what are we fans
and
of there?
their food.
Yeah, their food's good.
The chicken bao buns
Yep.
are a favorite.
They have a unique menu.
Yes.
It's very unique. I have friends that go there a lot on Wednesdays. I think they do half price pizza or some pizza special. But I think people sleep on their pizza. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's so good. We love everything
Big
there.
Crowbar fans. What's your favorite like non-food local business in the area? You know, a boutique, a shop, a salon, anything that's not food, would you say?
Okay, I guess my most...
Gym, anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, my most frequents, I guess, would be like the Pink Turtle, Aloe Hair. We go to Hilo House occasionally when I can get there.
Nice. Hilo's great. I feel like we should have them on. I know Anne, the owner. I should have her on. She's great. I've only done Hilo House once.
Okay.
And I'm just like such a high intensity person. I should have done the Versa Climber. I probably would like that better. But
it's so
the
hard.
like Pilates side of it or whatever, I'm just like... I need to turn my brain off, and my brain is on when I'm doing those things.
I feel that.
So for me, I need the high intensity to like turn my brain off. But Hilo's amazing. I have so many friends that go there.
Yeah.
Love that. Any other local businesses that you love or business owners that you love?
I feel like there's so many.
There's so many. And you've already given a lot of good ones.
Yes.
Aloe. I love Pink Turtle. What do you go to Pink Turtle for? Just like your day to day? Or are we getting like more formal attire?
Yeah. Gifts.
I'm big on gifts there.
Everyone's like, where'd you get that Pink Turtle?
Yeah, I'm big on gifts. Like I'm really big on, I believe, and you'll maybe someday learn this, or I'm sure you have a decent idea. When my friends have children and their kids turn 1, I'm a big fan of like, the kid doesn't need a thing. Like a 1-year-old doesn't need a thing. Like I try to get the mom a gift.
Oh, that's
or
cute.
even when my friends have babies, I'm like, I'm taking the mom a gift. And the Pink Turtle's a great place.
It is.
Because you can get them, you know, a big, comfy, cozy crew neck, or you can get them a candle or a gift or whatever. I just think, or like people when they have babies, there's a good tip. If they just had a baby, like get their initial on a necklace. Pink Turtle's great for that.
Yes, it is.
Huge Pink Turtle fan. Huge Pink Turtle fan.
Yes.
So anything else you want to shout out? Any events you have coming up? Anything that we should have on our horizon?
I mean, other than Valentine's Day, and then we'll get into like St. Patrick's Day. St. Joseph's Day is also one that we participated in last year with the St. Joseph's Day cakes.
Very cool.
That was our first time trying them out, and they seem to be very popular. They're like sort of like a puff pastry type with a pastry cream inside. So stay tuned for those. I think it's like March 19th.
Okay.
Around that time we'll be doing those.
Nice. Do you do the like Fat Tuesday cake with like the baby?
Yes. So
like, am I saying that right?
We're the king cakes.
There we go.
Yeah. So we do like a king cake, like mini bundt cake.
Cute.
It's kind of like our spin on it.
Yeah.
So it's like a cinnamon cake with like a cream cheese icing. So we'll be bringing those back. And then we're also going to be doing like king cake cookies. We're going to be experimenting with those. Yeah. So it'll be like a cinnamon sugar cookie. So just kind of taking like our spin on the
classics.
King cake traditions. Yeah. We won't be making large king cakes, but similar CupKate's versions.
Smart. I love that. I think the mini versions of things are so cute, especially if you can like grab and go.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm on my way to so-and-so's house. Let me drop in, grab something. I love that. So where can people follow you? Shout out your handles. How can we find out more about you?
Yes, you can find out more about us at our Instagram. So it's CupKate's Cake Bakery on Instagram, I believe, Facebook, TikTok, and then our website is CupKatesCakes.com. So on there,
Love that.
You can see what we have. You can fill out an order form, like options, sizes, prices, everything should be on there.
Cool. I love it. Well, we love having you.
Thank you for having me.
Being your neighbor.
Yes.
And just so excited for everything you're doing. I think you're amazing.
You too.
Women business owners are the best. I love that you own this 100% yourself. Like, keep doing you. We love you. Shout out CupKate's. Definitely stop by. Just grab something quick in the case. Try them out. Or if you got a big event coming up, like what a way to make your event extra special with a custom cake or a custom anything. She's the best. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Awesome episode of Life on the App. We will see you next week.